As was indicated, I am the state director for USDA Rural Development in Ohio. What does that mean? How is that relevant to you? USDA Rural Development is the economic development arm of the United States Department of Agriculture here in Ohio. We are responsible this year for putting about $680 million into the economy, both through our typical cyclical farm bill funding and the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act, which you also know as the stimulus bill, also created a surge of additional monies. And we'll show you how that money was spent as we go through our remarks today. But it's also relevant to you because you're here and you're at Hocking College for a number of reasons, but this is a school that really has energized the local region with their curriculum in renewables, job training for wind, solar, biomass, and practical research applications of those same exciting energy developments. If this area, and I talk now the sort of the Appalachian regions from where you all came here today, if it's going to be competitive with the Silicon Valleys in California and the Research Triangle in the Carolinas and others, we need to glom on to a useful economic attribute, and nothing is more useful and environmentally beneficial than the green energy and green collar jobs revolution. So hopefully you'll all be part of that and bring good permanent jobs to this part of the country in the coming years. You're certainly at the right place to learn those trades. Once again, we're not just about farming anymore at the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We are committed to building sustainable communities and that means providing jobs that are multi-generational in small towns and providing vital infrastructure in those towns in the form of affordable housing and water and sewer and the other infrastructure items that a small town needs. We also are bringing broadband to vast new areas of the country, and Ohio is in the forefront of that. We've received 4 broadband grant and loan applications already, and we are in queue to receive even more. The goal is to really bring broadband coverage to the last mile in rural Ohio and then throughout the Appalachian region. We view this as a quality of life issue, and we also know that business and industry certainly takes the pulse of a community before deciding to locate in a community, and one of the items on their checklist now is broadband or satellite or any other methodology for instantaneous internet communication. And that is just a prevalent issue, and that's why USDA is so committed to extending it throughout the rural communities in Ohio and the United States. In Ohio, we're divided up into 4 areas. This is only of marginal interest to you if you're from West Virginia or Kentucky, but my colleagues in those states are also divided up in this manner. And for those of you in Ohio, if you are interested in learning more about our programs locally, you can talk to our area offices in Marietta, Hillsborough, Findlay, and Massillon. I myself am from Columbus, where our main offices are located in the federal office building. And we believe this regional approach gives us the opportunity to analyze and react to local developments in the economy that we might otherwise overlook if we were centralized. Here are the program areas that we involve ourselves with at USDA Rural Development. Rural business and cooperative programs, and that is an area where we try to stimulate economic development by providing loans, grants, and loan guarantees to either existing businesses and industry in rural areas of the state, or use those same programs to entice new businesses to come in. I spoke earlier about our activities with respect to the stimulus bill. The stimulus bill was passed in February of 2009, and those of you who remember the situation back then, the stock market had hit 6,000, was in free fall, and nobody was lending anywhere. I mean, the banking system was in gridlock from Wall Street all the way out to Main Street, and through the efforts of USDA and other agencies, both at the state and federal level, I think we succeeded in infusing some money in the economy that certainly kept the economy from bottoming out anymore. The economy is in a recovery, albeit a very unspectacular one at this point, but the market is up back to the 10,000 mark. We are starting to see banks get back into the system, but for a while there was virtually no lending across the economy, for example, in the housing industry, except in the areas that had government backing, either secondary market backing or initial loan guarantees. And that is not coming from me, that's coming from the National Association of Realtors. So the takeaway from that is that without the stimulus program, there would have been no housing financing during 2009 and to a great extent through 2010. The same is true to a slightly smaller scale in business and industry. The area of community development programs and rural housing are sort of self-explanatory, but keep in mind that rural sewer and water infrastructure is essential to economic development in rural areas, and that is a major contributing program to the other ones in our suite of assistance. Rural business programs, as indicated here, provide about $100 million during the past fiscal year in loans and grants and special products, application-type grants that we've provided around the state. And that also includes our renewable energy programs, which I will emphasize later in our discussion. We do provide grants, or rather guarantees, of a lender's a business portfolio up to 80% in eligible areas of the state, 50,000 in population or lower. We don't normally lend in the center cities of Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, etc. But most of the rest of the state of Ohio is our stomping ground. That is to say, jurisdictional areas that we can provide financial assistance in those areas. The same is true in West Virginia, Kentucky, and the other states where you may hail from. We are there to promote these programs in small town Ohio, and we leave it to our sister agencies, Housing Urban Development, Department of Commerce, Economic Development Agency, to provide similar forms of assistance in the center city areas. For example, over in anybody here from Scioto County? I think we got one over there, right, Fred? Okay. Okay.